So because it's June 19th, it's the anniversary of the release of Sonic Adventure 2, and I saw a tweet that while I would usually let go, because it's opinionated at the end of the day, I thought this would be a good example to make this the video for like the anniversary of the game ahead of Sonic 3 coming out, which is, heavily inspired by Sonic Adventure 2 so far with what we've seen. The tweet, and mind you, it's a quote tweet by Scooch. This is not against Scooch. What I'm about to say has nothing to do with Scooch's opinion, or this is like, oh, he had a terrible take. No, it's just there because that's how I saw it, was through him, okay? He's actually a cool guy. Did the Can We Talk About This stuff. He lived in Minecraft for like 30 days using like a VR treadmill and stuff. Actually, really entertaining stuff. So you can go check him out if you want. But the tweet that was being quoted was, "You don't understand the pain it was to be a fan of the adventure games in the 2010s because of how many videos would exist of people being like, oh, it's only 33% a good Sonic game because only Sonic and Shadows levels are good. And then here I am like, no, I like the Knuckles levels, I like the Tails levels, but for some reason my opinion and opinions like mine back in the 2010s were considered just that. They're just opinion at best, or nostalgia actually, which always made me a little annoyed because I'd usually be playing the games live. Like I got Adventure 2 here on Steam in 2014, so it had nothing to do with nostalgia. But then you have the people that, if you're criticizing the game though, it can't just be that for some reason it's that mentality you see people have where because I'm older, I must criticize the things that I used to like to prove that I'm a wise adult. No, it couldn't be that. It had to be, no, your opinion, while it is an opinion, is correct. It's why on this channel I've never pushed saying, no, these are still the best Sonic games of all time, you should like these games, blah blah, because it's opinion. You could play this game for your first time ever after watching a video like this one and then decide you do like it. It gives you everything you want in a Sonic game and it's actually pretty good. Or you could play it, you could absolutely hate it, and that's totally fine. I'm not here to say, no, you should like these games are the best for everybody, and etc etc. It's like, no, if you have your own opinion, that's the crazy part. It's your own opinion, it's fine. But my point, I guess, is like, it is opinion at the end of the day. And for some reason, if you liked these games in the 2010s, it was an opinion. It was your nostalgia blind. Take off the rose-tinted glasses. And, oh, a C? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. And it was that kind of mentality. And so you saw with this tweet pop up, a lot of quote tweets popping up about people saying that exact thing, nostalgia's a wild drug, and etc etc. And it was interesting because some people definitely had their take, and it was opinion. It was them being like, I used to like Sonic Adventure, like Scooch's tweet. I thought Sonic Adventure was amazing, the well chase scene was fantastic, but growing up is realizing, that looking back on the game, that it's trash. And while I disagree with that last part, that he didn't make it like, oh, growing up for everybody is it. It's like him saying, him growing up is looking back and saying that about the game. And that's more what I think is just fine. It's like, yeah, that's opinion, and you're not saying it's like it's a factual thing. Just like I'm not saying just because I like this game, everyone should factually think it's a good game. I'm not saying, oh, you suck at the Knuckles levels, get good. Oh, camera angles, learn the camera button. It's like, no, if you play a game and you're not having fun with it, it's not my job to force you to have fun with it. But at the same time, if you don't have fun with a game, I am going to push back at the idea that your lack of fun is factually correct, basically. And that's, I guess, the point of this video, is when it comes to games, period, right? Especially if we want to talk about just keeping on Sonic. The 2010s had some interesting games, of course, right? We had things like Sonic Generations, which is ironic because the same people that will push back on, being nostalgia blind and all that, will praise Sonic Generations, and I like Sonic Generations, but that game was built on nostalgia. Let's just keep it honest. It's a good game, I still say, but it was built on that. Like, I don't think no one's really arguing that too much, right? The reason there was hype for that game is, they brought back classic Sonic, they brought back all these stages and they made them modern, or they took the classic stages and made them 3D for modern Sonic to play through, right? Like, that's the thing. Then you have games like, Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric, Lost World, Sonic Forces, which are games that I will eventually play through again for like our Sonic Marathon, and I will try my best to be absolutely positive through the whole thing. But then if you're in the 2010s and you're saying, hey, replay through the Sonic Adventure games, or, play through those 3 games, I'm going to keep it real with you. It's not even nostalgia. I would choose the adventure games over those. Alright, it's beeping. We're getting a beepification right here. And that's also part of my point too, where it's like, if we're going to keep it within the Sonic realm, I think part of it was the adventure games had to kind of carry a torch, because however they might have aged, at the time they were released, they were good, and then Sonic kind of went through that era of games that came out that weren't even necessarily received as good when they came out. Now, granted, you have games like Sonic Unleashed that eventually came out, and it's like, oh, people are starting to appreciate that game now in the last half decade, but I swear, it always like this. I deserve that. Why didn't I think I could go behind that pumpkin? Because I'm conversating. I'm having a conversation, so it's distracting me like a little bit. So we went to church, we went to the mountain, we'll go here. Basically, my take is, I think some of those games, the adventure games, held up for so long for some people because they kind of also had to, right? Sonic went through that era where people like IGN were saying, well, maybe Sonic was never good, or Sonic is the... This was a great one. Sonic is the king of bad music, and basically getting attacks from all sides. When you get attacks from all sides, eventually you're going to kind of double down. Oh, I missed that. There we go. You're going to double down on like, no, maybe this actually was a good game, and people are actually just being too critical for no reason. Because that's what also was part of it back then, too. It was like B rank. And it's like, I get the idea, and part of why I'm making this video is basically to talk about in games in general, like the games you want to like, because at the end of the day, people are going to feel differently. The majority might say the game you like is great, the majority might say the game you like is bad, but if you could just pick it up still and still enjoy it, do so. It's your time, as long as you ain't hurting nobody, you know what I mean? As long as what you're doing with the game isn't, you know, hurting other people, as long as you're not hurting yourself. Because nostalgia can be maybe a possible issue that gets in the way. Like if Frontiers has come out now and it was perceived pretty well. Shadow Generations will be out later this year, and let's say it absolutely bangs. It's a great game. It's one of the best Sonic/Shadow games in a long time, right? Then at that point it would be nostalgia blind to say not that these games are good, but that they're the best. And that's also the difference I want to highlight in this. Something can be good and still not the best. Me saying if those games do well, that this is still the best game ever, might be, at that point, rose-tinted glasses. But me just saying the game's good is not nostalgia and rose-tinted glasses. I'm going to push back on that one too. Because I think that is becoming a buzzword for people to kind of counter-criticism stuff. Is, oh, you just got that nostalgia. First of all, if something's bad and it gives you nostalgia in a good way, that's not a negative in my opinion. A. And B, here we go. I missed it, I'm trash. And B, if something's nostalgia because it actually was good, you don't have to hate something just because you grow up. Growing up is having your own opinions on stuff still. There we go. I could have did that sub 90 seconds. Oh well. I'm garbage. I'm the worst. With that being said, that's also the majority part of making this video too, is just to say, you know, at the end of this day, I could play this game right now, love it, still have fun with it, and I don't want other people to feel like, oh, because I'm saying it's a 100% a good Sonic game, now that needs to be the narrative online, for example. No. What I'm getting towards, though, is it's going to be your opinion. That's why those initial takes were suffering back then to see in the 2010s. Because it's all opinion. But for some reason, some are considered factual more than others. But at the end of the day, it's opinion. What do you enjoy? Not out of this game, but out of games, period. Does the game deliver on that? And that's good enough. That's all it has to be. And then, boy, oh boy, I can make a whole separate video on this. Then, of course, you have the Mario crowd that comes out the woodworks. It's like, man, then there's us, the Mario fans, that don't have to defend our game and jump through hoops that are of games that are 30 years old and stuff like that. It's like, I'm sorry, did we play the same Mario series? Because even though this is a Sonic household, I got flack for liking Super Mario Sunshine when that sucker came out. That was the Sonic 06 of the Mario series and franchise, was Super Mario Sunshine. Just because y'all like to act like it's good now in the last 5 years, in the 2010s, y'all hated that game too. So Mario, Mario fans, calm down, alright? If anything, we're in the same boat and should be on the same side like the Olympics. We should be getting an Olympics game this year. We're not, but we should be. And that's a tragedy. Because it's so much cooler when we're on the same side. But don't act like y'all didn't have hiccups in the road just because y'all got Super Mario Odyssey, which is a good game, by the way. Oh my goodness. I got to play it. But this video was because I just wanted to do something for Sonic Adventure 2. And then seeing that, like I said, that's usually something, of course, it's the internet, I can ignore it, it's whatever. But I was like, you know, I need to make an anniversary video anyways, and the video that I had planned, it's not going to be ready in time. That happens. Again, Scooch's take is not anything that I want people to go after. This isn't an attack on Scooch's take. This isn't anything to do with his tweet, as a matter of fact. It's just the window how I saw the initial tweet, but then how I started seeing other people come out of nowhere and be like, yeah, man, if y'all would stop having that nostalgia, you'd realize this game is garbage. And listen, I've already done 2 Knuckles levels where I got A ranks. Like, Knuckles levels don't mind me in 2024. This is 2024, mind you. The good old year of 2024. Like, all this. We 100%ed this game on stream, as a matter of fact, when we stream over on Twitch now. Like, I gotta do the classic, though. So no, it's not nostalgia, and I do dislike that that's always brought up as a counterpoint. But I also want people to understand it's about you. There's a reason you have people that speedrun these games. There's a reason you have people that speedrun other games. There's a reason you have people that don't even play games. And then you have people that play every game they can get their hand on, right? It's an experience that's going to be uniquely to you. So there's nothing factual about, especially, why do we always like to make the factual opinion the negative one? Why can't we be a bit more positive? And what is your opinion, not even on this game, but just game, what's a game that you like that other people tell you shouldn't like? And I don't mean because anything controversial, I just mean like people like, no, it's just not a good game, and then you're like, but it is. And even if it is nostalgia, what's a game that gave you good memories that maybe you shouldn't have? Put that in the comment section down below. Let's have a conversation on the anniversary, once again, of Sonic Adventure 2's release, which I thought was in 2 days, and I almost missed it. I'm good. I had a feeling. I was like, let me check the Wikipedia. Let me check the Wikipedia, because I swear, I keep thinking the 21st for some reason, and then I'm going to actually look up, and it's going to be like the 17th, I'm going to have missed it. And I'm so glad. There's a feeling I had in me to be like, just check the Wikipedia. Check the Wikipedia, buddy. I'm like, Wikipedia? Okay, Wikipedia. I was going to end the video, but I guess let me talk about why I actually still think this is a good game, because the conversation might be like, how do you enjoy this? How do you enjoy what's going on right now? First of all, camera. Camera's not really bothered me. I don't know how to describe that one. The camera's usually pretty straightforward. I don't really get stuck on it too much. B, I like Knuckles. So the fact that Knuckles was not only in this game but a playable character is part of what did it for me, right? It's like he's actually really important to the plot of the game even. Like he's important, his Master Emerald's important, etc. Finding the 3 pieces of the Master Emerald, I get that's not everyone's cup of tea gameplay-wise, but I didn't necessarily want everyone to play as Sonic and Shadow do, because I think if everyone's the exact same as Sonic and Shadow, it kind of takes away their uniqueness, right? Maybe it doesn't for some people, but for me, I'm thinking like, that's like Sonic's thing, is being speed. You know, it's literally his name. Shadow, same thing. So if everyone played exactly the same as that, it might be more enjoyable for some people, but I also think for others, maybe it would just take away their uniqueness, as in the 2 characters, right? Like Tails and Knuckles and Amy all play the same in Sonic Advance, you know, on the Game Boy Advance. What a fun game that was. But if everyone played that way, period, maybe it would lessen the experience, but maybe it wouldn't, right? Because then you have things like Frontiers and other games that came out where other characters started being playable again, and it wasn't necessarily the worst thing. Even in 06, when you would play a Sonic level and suddenly be Knuckles, you could climb walls and stuff, but it was still getting to a certain goal, you know what I mean? So, oh, there's Big the Cat. So I'm definitely could be wrong about that. That's, again, purely opinionated. In my opinion, isn't law just because it's positive. Let me put that out there. I just wanted to put a positive opinion out there for once, because I feel like a lot of what you see is negative. You'll look up something about the adventure games, you look up something positive, and then YouTube will recommend you 10 videos, and it's all people saying, Chow Garden's overrated, this is bad, blah, blah, etc. And it's like, okay, fine, you know, whatever. Thanks, YouTube, for missing the ball there on that one, but okay. But yeah, like for me, I think part of it too is just like, so I like the difference. I don't think the difference is everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine, but I like it. So it doesn't bother me, you know what I mean? It's not, you know, these are the only good levels. It's like, no, all levels are good if you don't have a problem with it. This is going to be a rambly video. It's going to be rambly on purpose, because it turns out when I'm trying to commentate seriously on something while playing something, it's a bit distracting for me. I don't got the hyper focus to be able to do that as well as a really good video documentary people can. Turns out. With that being said, and I'll say this, there are some things about this game that did not age well, and if they ever remade it, I think would be good, like the whole audio sometimes being louder than the dialogue and cutscenes. I agree with that one. But I also think that's a point I want to bring up, because just because you might have some cons doesn't mean a game has to be negative. For me, there are more pros than cons with the adventure games, and that's just all there is to it. For other people, it's going to be the reverse, and that's fine. It's just not fact, and that's all. That's really it. I could have made the video so much shorter. I could have made the video so much shorter by just doing that. But that feels kind of rude, because I don't want to discredit people disliking the game. I don't want this video, I don't know, it's one of those where I'm thinking about it as I'm recording it. This is kind of a spontaneous situation a little bit, which is part of the point. People like authenticity nowadays. They want that less scripted, less sound effects kind of a video thing, so I'm trying to do that, you know. And so I'm trying to think from the other's perspective of, I don't want this video to come across as attacking people for not liking these games. That's not the point. I don't want this to come across as an anthem for people being like, in the 2010s we got a lot of negative stuff. This is the positive stuff, and if you don't agree, you're the opposite of nostalgia blind. Which what is the opposite of nostalgia blind, by the way? What would be the opposite of nostalgia? Or calling people rose tinted glasses, just like regular glasses, regular boring, dread glasses. Take your dread glasses off, buddy. Understand that just because you grow up doesn't mean your opinions have to be grown up. I don't know, a wild take like that, by the way, just inserting that in here, because like, that's so weird to me. It's just been something that's always been kind of weird to me too. It's like, I don't know. If you like Super Mario Sunshine, I don't think there's an issue with you as a Mario fan. You're not like a problem. I've seen that come up in other franchises too, where it's like, if you like Mega Man X7, you're the reason the Mega Man X series died. It's like, no. I get back in the olden days, we maybe couldn't give feedback as well as we can with the existence of Twitter. People don't give Twitter enough credit, and Twitter doesn't have that much power, mind you, but like having windows where PR teams and stuff can hear feedback from customers directly, that can be useful, right? I imagine existing on the internet now for as long as it has, being able to have forums and other things to be able to tell people, there's a robot back here somewhere. Hello? There it is. I found it eventually. I'm bad at this game, but I'm good sometimes. I'm good with it. Forums and stuff could be a nice way, though, to get that feedback and get that out there and get, you know, there's such a thing as a vocal minority, mind you, but there's sometimes opinions and stuff that are shared because it's like the game developer's like, you know what, yeah, that's actually good. And that's fine and stuff, so. If they ever remade these games, I swear, that is one thing I would say, please fix, is the whole cutscenes and the audio being louder than, you know, stuff. Even though there's dialogue at the bottom, which is ironic because I'm a dub guy when it comes to anime. A for anime. That's just a spiteful thing on my part, though. I've seen some of the worst takes in anime I've ever seen are behind subs and takes on subs being better than dubs. I'm just going to put that out there. Yeah, let's make this video controversial. This was going to be a nice, you know, heartwarming video. Now it's a controversial video. Here we go. Just because I feel this way and I see a lot of people feel this way, that must be the way it is. And if you disagree with this, there's a problem with you. No, you're a different person. That's all it is. Draw. Die. I could have just played this level, actually. This would have been a nice background level. There we go. Right. And I guess I want to make sure I push that because I love this game and I play it quite frequently on the channel, but mainly the stream, and I want to make sure I get that point across because I don't really think I address it often. Me loving this game is not saying get out if you don't love this game. It's not saying Scooch's tweet is wrong, even though I already stated that. It's not saying like Akinola's tweet is wrong. As long as it doesn't come across as that I'm right, you're wrong, because that's not just how that works. Also, I need to test if I can hold people's retention this long. If I can't, then I'm not doing a good job in my whole retention practicing. Even that, I saw a take about like the Biolizard being like the worst boss in all of Sonic Gaming, and even that I'm like, you know, worst boss isn't like they're not a whole character and stuff like that. And I just like, doesn't it get exhausting sometimes just finding things to complain about? I feel like it has to, right? I was joking about the dread glasses earlier, but what if that is a thing? Like, because Dr. Eggman, rest in peace, Dean Bristow. As cool as Mike Pollock is, right? Being Eggman all this time. Rest in peace, Dean Bristow. The original Eggman voice actor in this game died. And I'll take a moment since I'm playing Eggman to mention that because, man, if you want to talk about things like voices and stuff, it's cool that Mike hasn't changed after all this time, so we get like consistency in that regard. But there's some things I quote when I quote Eggman, I still quote in this voice. And that's why. Or just the Yosh. You know. Or abusing Chow in the Chow Garden. Oh, I almost died. I didn't know that was a thing. In all this time playing this game that I could launch myself backwards. Speedrunners probably knew that for a while. Let's go speedrunners. Oi, oi, oi. Let's not do that. But right, so I'm playing through these levels right now. And yeah, the Walker levels are a little clunky. I'll give you that one. Compared to Gamma and Adventure 1. But unlike Gamma and Adventure 1, we don't have the time limit infinitely ticking down, right? That's something that I actually enjoyed about this. If we're going to be clunkier and slower, we're not having to race the clock like Gamma was. Gamma was definitely faster, more agile, more nimble, and that was a fun playstyle too. But I gotta wait for the timer again. But I do appreciate, though, however, that if we're all going to be slower like this, I guess that's why the Walker level doesn't bother me. Yeah, they are bigger and heavier and lumber around. These are assault walkers. These were never going to be the fastest things possible to begin with, but I'm not going to sit here, for example, and say, oh, that's a dumb criticism. It's like, no, that's fine. I just don't agree with it, but it's fine. I want to say this, please be this one. I'm about to say, if I'm hovering to my death, that's going to be real tragic for my nails, man. I just got my cuticles done. I'm feeling handsome today. That's what you do when you're an egg. Ooh, this hallway, right? There's a switch up there? Yep. Am I not at the end yet? That's fine. But yeah. Cowa, bummer, buddy. Wow, I could have actually got through that without hitting the lasers. Thanks. Thanks for... Now, look how uncool you made me in front of everybody. Appreciate it. So now that I've rambled or yapped, as the cool kids like to say now, I'm basically just yapping. What is a game... Another question midway through the video here. What is a game that you thought you wouldn't like, you finally gave a try, and you actually did like? Whether it's an older game or a newer game. What's a game that you just were like, you know what? This slaps. I wish I would have played this sooner. Man, I'm good with it. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh, they're gonna bully me. They're gonna bully me real hard here. Never mind, they're frozen. Get wrecked. They thought they were good. So here's the thing. I've seen a take that Chao Garden's overrated. While, of course, I disagree, I do actually think that there's a lot of viewpoints on this game that are based purely on, you know, obviously the main story. So you don't include the multiplayer. I lost hours and hours of my youth playing the multiplayer with my brother. It was one of the most fun things to just do silly stuff in those. And that was really put in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, after all, not Sonic Adventure 2 as a base game. But Chao Garden is not everyone's cup of tea. I'll give it that. You know, if we look at just the base game, like, let's take my criticism or my love for this game at just, am I gonna make it? See right there. The camera was definitely a little funky there. I'm not sitting there going, and that's why this game's garbage. I hate this game. This game's not good. Rose-tinted glasses. Like, that was fine. It was whatever. That hallway is designed to push you out anyways once you get into it. So one way or the other, I would have been fine. But I don't think that everyone's gonna love... I guess it's a lesson in everyone's not gonna love everything that you're into, and that's fine. I think one of the things to take away too is also make sure, not even to have a thick skin, but realize because everyone's not gonna love everything that you love, some people, they're gonna have some wild takes. And even though I'm saying criticism of this game is fine, and people saying the game's bad is their own opinion and stuff like that, sometimes you're gonna see wild takes, and you're gonna be like, no, there's no way I can let that slide. And basically part of why I make this video too is to say, no, you gotta let that slide. You gotta let that slide. You gotta let that kind of go through, because honestly, you'll waste too much time on something like social media or online forums or videos on YouTube. If you see something, you go, now I have to clap back. You don't have to clap back unless you're in a confrontational mood, right? There's certain things that are, they're bait. They're designed to get under your skin, and that exists for way more things than just the adventure games. I just want the adventure games to have their place on the Sonic pantheon of, no, they didn't just age into being bad. I know this is me saying it, you know, opinion, blah, blah. I don't think they age into being bad just because they're not the best anymore. For me, this is actually my favorite game of all time, let alone why I think it's still one of the best Sonic games, period. Mind you. But, lasers. Sorry. I'm trying to be like a calm, chill vibe, and then I almost just got my face melted off. We're going to freak out a little bit. I do apologize in case you had this on a high volume and that peaked the mic and stuff. I am so sorry. And then I lost my shield. Okay, so while I have a moment, I just don't think... It's something I brought up already. There's this mentality, and I see it way more than just the adventure games. I see it, period, where it's like, because I've gotten older, I have to dislike the things I liked as I was younger. Being an adult is not forcing yourself to mature. Being an adult is not having to be about all of the mature opinions and stuff like that. It's like drinking or driving, right? Like, maybe more drinking more than anything else. You don't have to drink just because you're an adult. Being an adult isn't drinking. Being an adult is the choice, though, once you have the ability to have the choice, and then making the decision to say, I still don't want to, or I do want to every now and then, responsibly. Please, if you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, all that good stuff. And I think that happens with people when it comes to stuff from their childhood, too. It's like, if that still brings you joy, rock it. Oh, I almost didn't make it. I should focus up on this point. Oh my goodness. Let me go like this, so I can get a bit of a running start. Running start, there we go. Running start always helps there. Ta-da! Anyways, I think that's something that happens often where it's like, I have to look back on this and be super critical now. No, you don't. If you look back on something and it still brings you happiness, or it still brings you joy, or it still reminds you of good times and the world that we live in, go for it. I don't see anything actually wrong with that. Some people do, and that's fine. I just don't. I don't think that's a problem. I don't think that should be a problem either. There we go. Here's the fun thing on a side note. The Magic Hands is one of the most broken level up items in all of Sonic. Which is funny because I saw that take, actually. It was like the idea that if you put Sonic in a white room and Mario in a white room, Mario's going to be able to do a lot more. And it's funny because level up items kind of got phased out of Sonic games a long time ago. they're like not a thing necessarily, but like Sonic can like naturally light dash now for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know who let them cook like that. And if the right room doesn't have rings in it, he still can't light dash, turns out. But like Mario's code name, like, you know, in League of Legends, maybe not, hopefully, you don't know this because you don't really play the game. But in League of Legends, champions have code names when they're in development. Like Jinx's code name when she was in development back in 2013 was Psycho Arsenal. Mario's like code name before he came out was Jumpman. Mario better be able to entertain me in a white room of nothing, or else what is Mario doing? That was never Sonic's job. I'm just gonna push back on that. Oh my goodness, I thought I was gonna miss that. There we go. The title of this video is probably gonna be something like, nah, the adventure games are still good, deal with it. And I hate that because it's just me playing ball with YouTube. I have to make a title like that for the algorithm and all that good stuff, right? And I really shouldn't have to. I want to get to that point one day where I can just make super honest titles and thumbnails. I don't live in that world though. That's not where I'm at. So I do apologize if you clicked on this video expecting a lot of hatred against you because you disagree with that. Because that's not what this is about. Under 5 minutes, that's interesting. I think that's a C? Yeah.
Just made it.
I know these scores by heart at this point. That's maybe a bit sad. I'm gonna let you guys get out of here. Thank you so much for watching this video. But again, in the comment section down below, what's a game, an older game, that you actually like, that you think is actually... That's not the button.
Select the stage.
That you like, that you were told that you were not supposed to like, but that you did anyways. Oh, that's why. I think I'm pressing the wrong button. I moved my hand to get ready to get y'all out of here, and then I kept hitting... That happens so often in a lot of games that I play. I'll move my hand for a second to stretch my wrist or something, and then I'm like, I lined it back up poorly, and I'm like, man, what's a game that you were told you weren't supposed to like, that you did like? Oh, Capson's been in here for a month. Okay, we're not. This part of the video is getting edited out. We're just gonna pretend like they're not been in there for a month straight, just learning the flute. Let me actually my thoughts together here. What's a game you were told you weren't supposed to like that you do like? What's a game maybe you tried later on that you didn't think you would like that you did like? And what's a game that if you didn't look at it critically, you still actually rather enjoy? Nostalgia be darned, if you will. Who cares? Because that was the whole point of making this video, is just opinions. Opinions can differ, that's fine. Just don't sell yours as fact when it's clearly opinion. That's all. That's all us adventure game defenders, if you want to call us that, want. That's it. So let's just understand that it's all opinion. Let's not come at people sideways because like, oh, why don't you hate this game? This game plays horrible. This game is this, this, and this. Okay, fine, whatever. Or it's just a matter of learn to see people have their opinions, consider them factual, and just keep walking about your day. That's what I should have done. If this wasn't for the anniversary of, you know, Sonic Adventure 2 coming out, that's what I would have done anyways. Because let me tell you, it's way more healthy to do that, especially when you deal with League of Legends. So, I don't know which video will be next, because life can have a lot of kinks. So until next time, take care. GG, get jinxed. Thank you for watching, and enjoy pizza responsibly. Bye-bye.